And on that note, we'll move on to our next topic. And, well, the former CEO of the Microfinance and Small Loan Center, MASLOC, Sedina Tamaklo-Atienu, was yesterday sentenced to 10 years in prison with hard labor. And also, her former Chief Operating Officer, Daniel Axim, also was handed a 5-year jail term with hard labor. They were both found guilty on 78 counts relating to causing financial loss to the state, theft, conspiracy to steal, money laundering, and contravening public procurement laws. And the trial actually began all the way back in 2019. There were 6 witnesses that were called by the state, but Sedina was tried in absentia as she absconded after obtaining court permission for a medical checkup abroad. But Daniel Axim testified in person. He could not present any witness at all. And the investigation, we're told, was between 2013 and 2016, where in one instance, the convicts were said to have withdrawn some 500,000 Ghana cedis as a loan from Obatampa Savings and Loans Company, demanding a refund when the institution refused to provide a 24% interest rate. Now, Sedina is said to have asked for the money to be paid to her directly, and so that money was given to her in cash somewhere on the Spintex Road. And she did not report that this money had been given back to the company. So we're told that she pocketed that amount of money, and that was proven in court, alongside other instances as well. At the moment, she's not in the country because we're told that she's been away for about 16 months or so. And she was even trying to get some extra months to undergo eye surgery as well, but that was shut down by the court. The Deputy Attorney General says that processes have started to extradite her back into Ghana so she can serve her full term. Let's quickly listen to him. I'll come to Bernard first. Well, actually, Edem first. Okay, well, we'll just go into the conversation. When there's time, we'll play that. But Edem, I mean, this is a former appointee from the NDC government.
Yes.
And the law has caught up with her.
Bella, the NDC as a political party believes in the principle of probity. We also believe in the principle of accountability, and we believe as a party that public officials must account for their stewardship. So whether past or present, we have nothing against the prosecution of public officials because we believe that when you are given the opportunity to serve this country, you must do that in accordance with the law. However, criminal trials, criminal proceedings are supposed to be done in accordance with the law. Our position is that where we are today, with the facts available to us, what happened in court yesterday was a glaring miscarriage of justice.
How?
And I'm going into it.
Okay.
Bella, was a glaring miscarriage of justice and a dent, actually a shadow on our justice delivery system. Because, Bella, Article 19.3 of our 1992 Constitution provides that during criminal proceedings or trials, it must be done in the presence of the accused. Now, by in the presence, basic understanding of law, it means it's either the person is present physically and also must be present mentally. It means the person must be able to follow the proceedings fully. In this case, when the case started in 2019, Madam Sedina Ationu Tamaklo followed or was going to court religiously until she fell sick and her lawyers sought permission from the court for her to travel abroad for medical attention. And so Sedina did not run away. She left on the permission of the court. However, when the time that the court gave her, before the time elapsed, her lawyers again put in an application with evidence of medical records to show that her condition was worsening. And so they needed some more time so that she would have her day in court.
How much time was she given?
I can't give you the specifics.
Well, because you're saying
I don't know.
that
Yes,
eventually
no, but
the lawyers went back to ask for more time.
So they asked for
Okay.
more time. Now, what happened yesterday, that she being tried in absentia, This is a person whose medical records, medical reports have been made available to the courts that she is currently not well. Her condition was worsening, and so they wanted more time. And they decided to try her in absentia, which we believe was a miscarriage of justice. But you see, Bella, I am aware that even in this our republic, we have several cases of people being tried, people being convicted, people being prosecuted, and when they go for appeals, they get the decisions overturned. I wish that Sedina was here herself if she was well, but the conditions did not allow her to be present.
To appeal the sentence?
No, I don't speak for her lawyers, but I know that certainly because we are not satisfied with the judgment, they will appeal. Remember the Chachuchi Kata case? After all the noise that they made about it and all those things, when he finally had his day in court and he went through the process, he got the earlier conviction overturned. I am confident that her lawyers will do the right thing. They will go to court and appeal the decision and all of that.
You're saying she's not guilty of the charges that have been leveled against her. I mean,
it is not in my person.
The evidence that has been
so
accused
Bella,
by the courts.
I as an individual, and your platform is not a court.
I understand, but
for
if
me
you
to
say
determine.
that
But I
you
believe,
hope that she will appeal so that it can be overturned.
I believe.
So indirectly you're saying that you don't believe she was guilty?
I believe that with the facts that I know, the conversations I've had with some people that are on her legal team and all of that, I believe when she has her day in court and she goes through an appeal, this decision will certainly be overturned. But the person is not well.
It's a natural time for another surgery.
She's not well. The question is that, was the judge furnished with medical reports to show that indeed she wasn't well? Yes. So why won't the judge allow for the time? And this is the same judge, okay, who is sitting on the Atto-Forson matter. Are you aware that the third accused in the case of the Atto-Forson matter, which is currently before court, recently the same judge, they filed what? A nollie prosequi because of similar reasons. Because the third accused used to come to court, and then because of his worsening health conditions, he was granted permission to travel for surgery, and he asked for more time. And because they thought that was delaying the case, they actually filed for a nollie prosequi and all of that. And so the issue is that the court was furnished with her medical reports. And so when people are making all sorts of noise that she absconded, look, the Sedina that I know, it's a very courageous, very responsible woman. And when she was here in Ghana and she was in good health, she was religiously attending the court proceedings.
Okay.
She was. And so she even went to contest the parliamentary primaries later in 2020. This is not a woman who will run away from a court proceeding or from judgment. But the Sedina that I know is one that is very principled and will do the right thing.
There was evidence to even show that even that 500,000.
It is not about. So you are going into the case. You are going into the merits of the case without paying attention to the fact that in criminal proceedings, the accused must be present. She was not present.
So for you, that's your point.
For me, that is the main.
So it's not about whether she's guilty or not.
Now, if no, her guilt can only be proven if she is present and she gives all the facts that she also has. But you see, Bella, a very interesting case is the fact that the judiciary seems to be in a hurry to pronounce judgment in this case. Now, they say that when I was in secondary school, my housemaster used to tell us something that if the green leaves are falling, what is the fate of the dry ones? The judiciary must be aware that indeed, if we are all interested in fighting corruption, which we are all interested in, it is not only about prosecuting people that belong to the other parties or the opposition political parties. We must be interested with all the cases as we speak today. If it is about causing financial loss to the state, when you read the case, they are mentioning about some 90 million Ghana cedis, and there are some 500,000 and all of that.
1.7 million.
No, so in all, they are claiming that to the tune of 90 million for all the accused persons in this case. Bella, what is more of causing financial loss to the state than spending over $100 million on that useless pit you call the National Cathedral.
But it doesn't make another case
in that case,
any
no.
less
I'm not.
important.
No. So I'm only telling you
So
that in that case,
everyone should be judged.
I'm drawing. Yes, everyone should be judged. But I'm telling
Yes.
you that if the judiciary is really interested in expediting action on these cases, you have an individual with double identity on the board, awarded contracts to himself, and they are the people responsible for that useless pit you call a National Cathedral, where over 100 million Ghana cedis has gone into it. Why is the justice system not in a hurry to prosecute?
Okay.
We have PDS scandal. We have Ameri Innovation scandal. We have so much money gone under the carpet, under the bus. Corrupt activities that have happened. Several ministries,
Adam,
Kelny GVG, and all of this.
I understand that you say that
this
court
morning,
processes
my
should
last
be
count,
initiated for all these cases. But does
Bella,
it then...
at
no,
my
what I want to
last
understand,
count, in my last
so
count,
if Madam said enough,
today, this morning,
if for some reason
we
her
can
medical
publish
records in
over
the case,
322
hold on,
scandals, corruption-related scandals of this government. And so, if they are truly interested in finding money for the state, protecting the public purse, we just want them to be aware that give Sedina fair hearing.
Okay.
The lady was religiously attending court proceedings.
Let me speak to Bernard.
When she was here. She traveled on permission granted by the same court because she wasn't well.
Well,
medical reports vindicate the fact that she has worsening health conditions, and yet you go ahead to try her in absentia and all of that. I know her lawyers will do the right
even
thing.
if the person is dead.
Let me repeat.
And Money Nimani says, you've had your time, it's okay. Money Nimani says that,
not one that
Adam, even if the person is dead, he or she can still be tried. Now, Prudential says that, Adam, I would like to disagree with you. Hold on. The jail sentences passed to the accused persons in MASLOC. When she was stealing her money as alleged, was she sick? I believe that if we want corruption and corrupt politicians to be tamed, then we must do away with political sentiments. My question, however, but I'll go to Bernard Mona, because Adam thinks that she should have been here per the laws to be tried. So if her medical records indicate that she has to be away for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, this is causing financial loss to the state. We have to wait for when she's ready in the next, 20 years for her to come into the country before this case is tried?
Well, first and foremost, I side with Adam that any individual that has been entrusted with public resources must dispense those resources in accordance with the law. Any individual that has been given responsibility to manage the affairs of our resources on behalf of all of us cannot and will not be permitted to take those resources as if they are his or her bona fide property that he can share anyhow. Public and simple administration will tell you that you don't take institutional money for yourself. You cannot, if you understand basic administration. That it is even a case that a company took money from MASLOC, and when it is time for the payment to be made, you ask that the money should be delivered to you in person. It's absolutely wrong and should never be countenanced. And when that is sent to court, and it is said that about 500,000 was brought to you at your private offices or residence or at Spintex, and you collected that money, that in its place is an aberration, an abuse of the authority that you have. So, Abinishu, I cannot phantom. I know Sedinam quite well. We have been panelists on Alhaji and Alhaji at the time that it was very, very scarce for women to participate in that high-level conversation. But she has been there. I also know her because when I was youth organizer, she was the CEO for the National Youth Authority. And of course, when she went to MASLOC, then I had no business to do with her. But if she went to MASLOC, and then she decided that monies meant for MASLOC and other people can be paid to her directly, offense have been committed. She has abused her rights and her authority. And if she's being dealt with, Adam, there's no way that I'm sure that your party would have said that go and receive MASLOC money as your personal money. So if she committed that offense, she is being punished because she decided that she would violate her own etiquettes that she has been given to. And she is supposed to be the boss of the institution.
Yeah.
And so I don't hold any tear for her. The second other aspect, probably to let Adam understand. You know, we have been using the roads all the time. And sometimes I'm in a hurry, so I jump the traffic light. But the car behind me also jumps the traffic light, but he comes to pass. The police arrest me and say that I have jumped traffic light. Meanwhile, even after me, the cars behind me also jump the traffic light and they don't stop them. That does not mean that I didn't commit the offense. And so all the instances you have listed, I am in full agreement with you. But that does not stop that in this particular instance, one of us decided that, look, you abused the laws and then you are being penalized. I don't also subscribe to this thing that once you are not in the jurisdiction, you cannot be tried.
Mm-hmm. But that's what the law says.
I don't subscribe to it.
But that's what the law says.
I say I don't subscribe to it.
Yes,
or you want to take that one from? You want to take that one from?
No.
So I don't subscribe to it. I know many people have been tried in absentia and judgments have been delivered in this country and elsewhere. And so once you are not within the jurisdiction, but you have a legal representation that continue to represent you, and for whatever reason that they were in court and this judgment was passed, they simply have to communicate with you. Look, in this instance, because of this Sedina case, some individuals were even asked for standing surety for her. They were asked to go and produce her. You remember?
Yeah.
Why? So if it's the case that the lawyers are in a position, you could request the court that, look, if you doubt that our client is sick, whatever it will take, let's go so that you go and see her condition. In my opinion, that was possible for the lawyers to act that, look, let's go so that you can confirm.
They provided medical reports.
Don't worry. Why? The courts in Ghana know that they have a way to go and check, to confirm. So they could use our embassies.
Yes, but they didn't do that.
We won't be able to tell.
Why are you doing this to me?
You spoke to her
They
legal.
didn't do that.
You want to do
said
this?
They didn't do any
When
of
you
that.
listen to
You
the
want to
lawyers,
do
they
this
didn't
to
do
me?
that. No.
Okay.
Or you want me to do what I want to do?
Bernard, please land for me.
So, if the court is minded and they want to get that, they would have gotten that information. If they are not convinced and they think that even in health, they need to do that. I know people who have been sentenced, and when they die, we take the chain and go to their grave and go and chain their graves. Or you don't see that. So that to say that they are in incarceration.
Yeah.
And so that you are not there and you have been sentenced, I am happy for this. Because see, the people that have worked around Nana Akufo-Addo and he is violating the laws, when Nana Akufo-Addo leaves office and I take over, the same measure.
Oh, when
will
you
be
take
applied.
over, I didn't quite get that. Sorry.
Oh, you got
Carry
it.
on. In 2024.
I am succeeding.
In January 2025.
I am succeeding Nana Akufo-Addo. So when I take over, why? It's not difficult.
You will try everyone.
Epa. Lo. This country will be sweet.
I mean, Kizzy, this is, of course, very good news. And a lot of people are saying that if you can do this, then there are a lot more instances where there have been corrupt people who have been fingered. Why have we not initiated court processes to verify if they're guilty or not?
Okay, Bella, it is interesting to note that he who alleges must be able to prove. All these corruption issues that, supposed corruption issues that my brother Adam was started enumerating. I don't think he has any evidence.
And causing financial loss to the state. There's no evidence.
For me, if you have evidence, the court is there. Or if you want to go to Shrad, wherever, you can go. He's talking about National Cathedral, blah, 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 blah. If you have any evidence that anybody has caused financial loss to the state, please, the state institutions are there. That's why earlier I said that if state institutions are working, we must commend those state institutions. Okay? This issue this Sedinam issue started way back in 2018 or 2019. Okay? It's been like 6 or so years up to date. You see, and so
Yeah, your
the wheel of justice, they say,
2019 cannot
it
be
turns
6
slowly. You
Is
know,
it about 6 years?
I wish about 6 years.
It's been 5 years.
About 5 years.
Yes.
It cannot be about 6 years.
it turns
So it's not up to
slowly.
5.
So at the end of the day, I think that our justices our courts are working. We must commend them. For me, the good thing is that she has access to appeal if she wants. And so the fact that the High Court passes judgment doesn't mean that that's the end. You can go to the appeals court, you can go to the Supreme Court, and even if you want, you can go for review at the Supreme Court. And so I think that the state institution is working, the state institutions are working. We must commend them. And this also would also sound caution to anybody, some like me, who have the appointment in government, that when you have the opportunity to serve your people, you must serve with dignity.
Did you declare your assets before taking over?
Before,
Taking over or accepting the appointment, have you declared your assets?
not yet.
Not yet. Why?
No,
Because
no. That is a
no.
cause
I'm
of
just
financial loss.
no. I mean, I'm asking that because the law demands that before you take any government office, you must declare your assets. Now, if you look at the Fourth Estate report, it says that there were a number of government officials in this government who had still not declared their assets. And so, how do we know that whatever it is that you are acquiring when you are in office, that is not gotten from ill means?
I think that
You
for
know?
me,
And not you in particular, but I mean government
No.
officials, even though you are also guilty for not
so you see,
declaring your assets.
You see, Bella,
Bella,
at the
I love
end of the day,
This uppercut
I
is
think that
nice.
the state has institutions that are supposed to make sure that all these things are done. For me, if I leave office and the other services there,
No, but you know the law.
sure, but that's
And
what
the
I'm
law
saying that-
says that before you take up any government appointment, you must declare your assets.
Sure, but at the end of the day, I'm saying that the state institutions are there. And so if I leave office and you think that I have acquired anything that I'm not supposed to acquire, why not?
But why do you put yourself in such a position when you can declare ahead of time? So that once you get out of office, you are very clear that everything I've gotten, I declared it already. So you can now come and investigate and find out if I, got other properties through ill means.
Bella, at this point, I think that the onus lies on the state institutions. That's what I'm saying. For me, let's allow, if you think that, like I said, like the way that, if you think that I have done something wrong, there are state institutions that...
You don't think you've done something wrong?
No, there are state institutions that you can take the person to, and the right things will be done. For me, I don't think that it is within my or within anybody's permit to say that you have caused financial loss or you have done this wrong or you have done that.
Nobody is saying that. Nobody is
But
saying that. You let him have his time, please.
Adam,
Let him have
please.
his time, Adam.
I
You spoke
believe,
for
I
quite a while.
believe that we all have our time, and when the time is up, we will leave office and go. But it is not up to me to say that I have. It is not anybody view to say that Kingsley have done something wrong. Or
Nobody's
Mr.
accusing you.
No, not me. I'm just using myself as an
Okay.
example. But I think that with respect to the issue of declaring assets, a lot of people are, not me alone, a lot of people are guilty on that. So, but it has never occurred to me, and so we'll look at it.
It's never occurred to you
Yeah, no.
to declare your assets? How? You're taking government office and it's never occurred to you. I mean, we're
It
talking
was-
about asset declaration.
Yeah, it was because of
For a while now.
For me, I have a special case. I have a special case of the way I went in as. I will have a special case.
Is it something you want to talk about or
No.
you'd rather not talk
No,
about
I'd rather
it?
not talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
I
have to
don't
get
talk
into
about
that matter and understand why you have a special case.
Yes, we can talk about it some
or
other
not.
time.
But let's move on. Adam, hold on, please. Allow him to touch on.
He's finished.
No,
He
I've
hasn't
not.
finished.
I've not. And so,
Another
Bella,
one.
I believe that with the issue of MASLOC, if you look at the issue,
At this time, you need to bring water on the table.
if you look at the issue of Madame Sednam, right from 2019, if you had followed the case, you realize that the court has even been very magnanimous to her. The judgment could have been passed long time ago. You've been away for about 16 months. Okay, and like Bernard said, the fact that you are not there, that is, so if you are going to be away for 20 years, the court will sit and wait for you. That is why she had a representative at court. Her lawyers were there every day. If the lawyers think that the court were doing things wrong, why would they go to court every day to represent her? And so at this point, let us commend the state institution that is executing its mandate. And for that matter, otherwise we will begin to bastardize all state institutions trying to do their work as they are supposed to. And so for me, it is a step in the right direction, and it is going to serve as a deterrent to anybody holding public office.
Okay.
That when you have the opportunity, use it wisely. Use it to serve the people, not just to amass wealth for yourself.
But why has it taken the Attorney General this long to extradite her? They should have started this process earlier. And even the judge herself had mentioned it. We're told in court.
I don't know
that
whether
she didn't
it
understand
was,
why they had to wait till the end before indicating that processes have started to extradite her.
I don't know whether it was because she was away and that her lawyers were talking to Attorney General. That's why all these delays came in. I don't know. I have no idea about that. But the good thing is that at the end of the day, like I said earlier, the will of justice sometimes turns slowly. But whatever it is, we are getting to the end of the case. But the good thing is that our sister, that is not the end. She has the right to the right of appeal.
Okay.
And so, like Adam said, if she goes and the three people also sat on the case and they think that she's not guilty, why not?
Okay.
We have instances that the High Court has pronounced judgment and the Appeals Court will turn it. And so, for me, I don't think that we must sit here and either jubilate or say we are happy. But the good thing is that the state institutions are working, and we must allow them to work.
And for those of you who are watching, so Article 286 of the 92 Constitution states that a person who holds a public office shall submit to the Auditor General a written declaration of all property or assets owned by or liabilities owned by him, whether directly or indirectly, within 3 months after the coming into office of this Constitution, or before taking office, as the case may be, at the end of every 4 years, at the end of his term. The Constitution requires a declaration to be done before the public officer takes office. But Section 14C of the Public Officers Holders Declaration of Assets and Qualification directs public officers to meet this requirement not later than 6 months after taking office, at the end of every 4 years, and not later than 6 months at the end of his or her term. Final words, gentlemen, before we go.
Bella, you see how my brother Kingsley started sweating profusely when the issue of declaration of assets and all of that, and he actually indicted the entire government by saying that many other people did not do it, and that he had a special case and all of that. No, you see, no, I just want this to serve as a lesson for them. When I leave your show, one of the things I will do today is to go and watch the commentary of the appointees of this government on this Sedina issue, and it should serve. They should have sober reflection, because my position is based on the law. And I'm not going into the merits of the case. The law, again, in Article 19.3, provides the two exceptions under which an accused or a criminal case can be tried in absentia. It says, and I want to read it, the first one. So Article 19.3, the trial of a person charged with a criminal offense shall take place in his absence unless A, he refuses to appear before the court for the trial to be conducted in his presence after he has been duly notified of the trial, or he conducts himself in such a manner as to render the continuation of the proceedings in his presence impracticable.
Okay.
In this case, none of these two exceptions applies to Sedina. None. It means that the court had no business to go ahead and try her in absentia. But again, let it be a note to those who are in government today. You asked me to go to court on the criminal issue. The Constitution provides that it is the AG that can initiate a criminal proceeding. I cannot do it.
Okay.
So I can identify today that there are corruption cases, and I can count 322 corruption cases where your officials have been involved. But I can start. So under the NDC,
they also deserve 30 seconds. I only have
And at the
30
NDC,
seconds
our
to
AG
go.
went to court and took Abuga Pele to court.
Thank you,
so
Adam.
if you are committed
Thank
to
you,
the
Adam.
fight against corruption,
All right.
initiate
Bernard,
the criminal proceeding
Bernard,
against
30
your own
seconds,
people.
please.
You can
Kingsley,
initiate
please,
civil
Kingsley.
I can't.
civil
Civil
Kingsley,
But
allow.
these are criminal cases.
Gentlemen, please.
You
Otherwise,
can
we'll be
start
taken
from
off air.
somewhere.
Bernard, your final
You can't
words.
start from
30
civil to
seconds.
criminal.
Adam, please respect Bernard.
I think that importantly, the PURC has issued its declaration on this matter. And it's important that we should want to see that they put their charges and ensure that the people of Ghana get justice
All right.
for the losses. Second, I think that no political party, no institution would commit an individual to go and take resources that does not belong to her and use it for her personal benefits.
Okay.
To that extent, what our sister did, collecting money that belongs to an institution in her private office, in my view, does not sit with
All right.
me. And I think that it's important that to look at it from that angle.
Let Kingsley also
And
get his final words. We have
finally,
to go.
let me say that those who have refused to declare their assets, they are candidates.
Okay. Thank you. They are candidates for election.
No.
Kingsley,
For what?
let's end it there.
election.
Oh, leave it there. The final words. We have to go. I have 10 seconds. They're counting me down, please.
I would invite my lawyer into this.
Let me say that, Bella, I don't think we should allow the state institutions
To work. All right.
And once the state institutions are working well, you and I will be a happy people
All right.
working in the streets.
Thank
of
you,
this
Kingsley.
country.
Well, Alakasha says that we'll be waiting for the former health minister Sputnik V. Zaka paying money for undelivered vaccines for COVID. We'll be there no matter what. And in fact, he admitted himself that he was not thinking right. Coco, just one more message, please. Good morning, Mr. Richard Kumado. He says this whole MASLOC initiative is a waste of everybody's time in Ghana. You dish out money, national resources to selected few and pretend it is a loan with recovery date and time, when in actual fact, you know it's not easily feasible to recover the monies given out, especially when the targeted MASLOC money receivers are highly likely linked to political patronage, dangerous country with abhorrent political, etc. I'll leave it there. Kingsley Ofosu Ntiamwa is the Executive Director for Museums and Monuments Board. You've been there for how many years, sir? 4 years or more? 9 years?
No.
Oh, sorry.
yet
Bernard
to
Mona,
declare
former
his
chairman,
assets.
People's National Convention, and Edem Agbana, NDC parliamentary candidate for K2 North. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. We'll be back with
Aspiring
more.
presidential.
Yeah, he has.